video that is loading right now from the first part is still loading, so it's not showing me like actually where it ended. So I apologize, y'all, for the issue. I hope that this is helpful and that you can come back to this and get the rest of the information. Okay, so just a quick recap from part one. So part one, we talked about the two frameworks to help with your mental check-in. The first framework was for a general framework, and then the second one was for in the moment. So you can always go back to part one to review those, but the two frameworks was pause, notice, name, nurture was number one, and then head, heart, and body check-in was number two. So go back to part one. You can watch that. I hope all of that, I think all of that was on there. I think it started to start buffering when I got to the journaling prompts. So I'll go back through those prompts. And feel free to ask any questions in the comments for those who are coming back in. I appreciate you. So let me just pull up here. So the journaling prompts, the first one, like I said before, the journaling prompts were the questions were all kind of similar, but I asked them anyway, simply because of the fact that I wanted us to, some of these questions may get different answers from you. So feel free to write down the ones that you are leaning towards. If it's all of them, if it's just one of them, that's okay. The first one was, what's been quietly weighing on me that I haven't said out loud? Number two was, what have I been pretending is fine that really needs my attention? And then number three is, what pieces of myself feel unseen that impact me daily? Okay, so what's been quietly weighing on me that I haven't said out loud is basically for us to really think about, and the same for this one too, what have I been pretending is fine that really needs my attention? It's really just a matter of thinking through those areas of our lives that we brush off that really actually hurt us. Those areas of our lives that we brush off that, thank you, Kathy. Those areas that that come up for us that we're just like, it's okay, it's all right, those pieces of yourself start to pile up, and then at a certain point create this feeling of I don't know, this feeling of I'm frustrated, but I can't really say why. That feeling of I just feel foggy or confused, but I can't necessarily pinpoint why or what's going on with me. So this is typically the things that we brush off, that we say is okay, that we say is fine, that we're just like, it's all right. Those quick forgiveness that we have that pops up for us, that we don't necessarily deal with the issue. We just say, oh, it's okay. And they'll apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. And you're like, oh, it's fine. Those things, those are the things that you may have to dig into. And then the last one was, what pieces of myself feel unseen that impact me daily? That's when I was talking about those days, or those parts of your days where you have to perform. Those parts of your days where you're code switching, those parts of your days where you have to be a version of yourself that is you, but isn't necessarily the authentic side of you or the authentic piece of what you want to be in that environment. So those are all things that go under the radar that impact us and create a mental weight that we don't necessarily weigh on a day-to-day basis. It's not something that we even realize we're carrying because of our nonchalant responses to those things. So that's what these journaling prompts are supposed to pull out of you. So that way you're able to come to a conclusion of what exactly is happening, especially if it's something that you're not quite sure. You're like, it's happening, something's wrong, but I don't really know what it is. Hello, Hunter, welcome in. Okay, so that was the journaling prompts. And then lastly, we'll end with our affirmations, we have 4 affirmations that you can take away from this live. Feel free to use the affirmations however you wish to. So if you feel like you're just going to journal them, if it's something that you want to repeat in the mornings, if it's something that you want to have on in your back pocket for when you're doing your mental check-ins, feel free to use them however you wish to. If you want to change the language, feel free to do that as well. Sometimes when you have affirmations that you like them, but you don't necessarily, it doesn't sound like you, then you can always change the language. It's perfectly okay. This is just a framework. But the first affirmation for your mental check-in is, rest is not something I earn. It's something I'm worthy of. Rest is not something I earn. It's something I'm worthy of. Rest is not something I earn. It's something I'm worthy of. So sometimes in life, we give ourselves rest as if it's a doggy treat, right? We give it to ourselves. It's like, okay, you did enough work today. Now you can rest. And now, granted, there may be some element of productivity, right? There may be some element of you want to, make the most or the best out of the day that you have. But rest isn't optional, or shouldn't be optional. It's something that you have to prioritize, because when you are well rested, you can work well. Okay? When you're well rested, you can think better. When you're well rested, your body is able to approach the day in a better light, because it actually has had its rest. So it's not an option. It's not something that you have to earn to be able to go to sleep, right? You deserve that rest, and it's something that you're worthy of, and making sure that you give yourself that rest consistently. So that was affirmation number 1. Affirmation number 2, there is no shame in needing space to heal quietly. There is no shame in needing space to heal quietly. There is no shame in needing space to heal quietly. So understanding that it's okay to steal away. It's okay to give yourself quiet space, not necessarily isolation, but to remove yourself from situations in order for you to do that within yourself. Sometimes we feel like we have to heal loud, right? We have to prove to the people that are around us that we are healing and that we are getting better. And when we have to steal away, right, or when we feel like we have to remove ourselves from environments or situations, there is a level of shame that comes up, because we're like, okay, now they see that I'm removing myself. Maybe they're going to think that there's some form of weakness, or they're going to think this, or they're going to think that. There is no shame if you need to get away, to get space, to heal within yourself. So I think a lot of times we allow ourselves to feel shameful for that. And there's no shame in that. It's more so of, I care about myself and love myself enough to remove myself from situations that I know that are not good for me, so that way I can heal quietly. Okay. So that was affirmation number 2. Affirmation number 3, I can honor where I am without rushing or creating false urgency. I can honor where I am without rushing or creating false urgency. I can honor where I am without rushing and creating false urgency. So this is just a matter of understanding that we need to make sure that we're not creating false urgencies in our lives. Okay? False urgency creates anxiety. It creates frustration. It brings down our faith and contentment and peacefulness. It steals our joy. Okay? So really taking the time to differentiate between what is actually urgent and what I'm rushing myself. Okay? Is this something I actually have to do right now, this moment? Or is this something that I can push to tomorrow, right? For example, I'm working on a presentation from school, and I gave myself a goal for it to be done by a certain day because I wanted to give myself space to do the next assignment, right? And I was creating this rush for myself to get it done, and grew frustrated because the presentation that I'm doing isn't an easy topic, right? So it isn't something that is just a random presentation. It's something that is, the topic is very close to home. It's very different through for my family and family counseling class. So it's something that I have to evaluate within my own family. So it's a difficult topic to really go through. And I was rushing myself through it. And I'm like, why am I rushing myself? Like I gave myself a due date to have it done a week prior. That means I have a whole week to get it done. But I was rushing myself to try to get through it because of this actual due date I gave myself. And sometimes we put our own urgency on things, and then when it doesn't quite work out the way that we want to, we try to rush more. And then that creates our own anxiety, our own frustration, our own burnout. Whereas if we just would have okay, yeah, you were proactive and you wanted to get it done early, but these things happen. So you're not going to necessarily be able to get it done in the time frame. And that's okay. Because guess what? You got a whole nother week to get it turned in. So that's what I mean by creating false urgency. We're putting ourselves in situations where we make the urgency, and yeah, it may be a proactive or a good strategy or maybe smart, but if it doesn't work out, why create more urgency when I had gave myself a space for a reason, right? I gave myself 7 days, 7 days space to get something done. So now I have that extra time where I can break it down in little pieces and get it done in time. So I say all of that to say, I know I mumbled, but I say all that to say is that think about the spaces in your life where you're creating false urgency that is creating more anxiety, that's creating more frustration, where that's creating an environment that isn't conducive to what you want out of your life. Okay, so keep that in mind. That was number 3. And then the last one is I let go of needing to be understood. It's safe for me to exist without performance. I let go of needing to be understood. It's safe for me to exist without performance. I let go of needing to be understood. It's safe for me to exist without performance. Okay. And that's just a fancy way of saying it's okay to be authentic. It's okay to be yourself. And it's okay to not be understood. It's okay that people don't understand you. Not everything is going to be understood. Not every person is going to be understood by everybody. There is nothing really in this world that I think or that I can think of that is understood by everybody. Okay? There's always going to be a rebuttal. There's always going to be a conspiracy theory. There's always going to be ideas of others that will say the opposite. Okay? We may say the sky is blue, but I'm pretty sure that there's a conspiracy out there that says that it's not. Okay, so that may be just something like a regular schmegular thing that is like, oh, everybody agrees with this one thing. And that's not the case. There may be something that some other theories of what that thing is. So just because you're not understood as a person by everyone around you doesn't mean that your existence isn't safe, and doesn't mean that you can no longer be authentic. It just means that they don't understand you. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. People don't understand me. People may not like me. People may not whatever. They may not even like what I'm saying, right? But that doesn't mean that I have to perform or change who I am just in order for them to like me or understand me, right? And I've said this before so many times. Sometimes people are just committed to misunderstanding you. They're committed to not liking you. They're committed to hating you. They're committed to these ideals that tell them that you should not be understood or that you are not understood. And when people are committed to that, there's no changing it, right? And we can't change people in general, right? So if somebody doesn't understand you, yeah, you may want to show them or get them in a point to understand, but why? Like, why? I'm not going to make myself, there's sometimes where I explain myself and there's sometimes where I don't. And you have to use your own discernment, intuition or whatever you want to call it to make those decisions. But it's okay if someone doesn't get you. It's all right. They're just not your people. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I'll go back through the top for the affirmations. Number 1 was rest is not something I earn. It's something I'm worthy of. 2, there is no shame in needing space to heal quietly. 3, I can honor where I am without rushing or creating false urgency. And 4, I let go of needing to be understood. It's safe for me to exist without performance. I hope this was helpful, y'all. Thank you to those who stuck with me with the whole mishap of the live. Both lives will be posted, though. Hopefully, I can go in and edit the other one so that way it lines up with this. And y'all all have a great rest of your week. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, please sign up for the newsletter on my website at haveninspired.com. There's a mindfulness newsletter that goes out every week on Wednesday mornings. And you will get meditations this week. Last week was cray, okay? So you will get some meditations this week. There should be multiple. So I hope that those were helpful. And thank you, Hiru. It was great to see you. Well, kind of see you. But thanks for coming in. You've always supported. So I truly, truly appreciate you coming in every week. And yes, we will have our next live next Monday. I'll post the poll for next Monday. I'll post that on Saturday with some new topics. I ended up just pulling this one from the old polls, so that way I had something to talk about tonight. But I think it was a good thing to follow up on. Y'all all have a great rest of your night. I'll see you next Monday, and bye-bye. See you later.